So why did I just show you that? Well, there is a new archetype on the horizon that I'm super pumped about. It just seems so cool. It's a bunch of fire monsters that are boxers as well. So I figured I'd get you pumped up with that opening scene. So this is the Burning Knuckler kind of first look for a lot of you. You can see that my deck says 39 because I just accidentally right-clicked on a Mirror Force and it went away. But anyway, so the whole deck is based on boxing, and a lot of the card names have to do with boxing. They all combo well with each other. The thing I like about this deck is that they gave these cards powerful effects, but they all have their own drawback. It keeps them in check. There's always got to be some sort of check, so the ban list doesn't have to do it for it. I'm looking at Insectors, I'm looking at other archetypes that got hit really hard by the ban list because their original cards are just so broken. Now, Insectors are the most recent, really big deck I can think that, you know, when they first came out, they were just out of control, destroying everything, special summoning anything it wanted, and just going crazy. So these guys, we'll go over them in just a moment. Currently there is 5 main decked options for monsters, and they're all very good. You could get away with running 3 of each of them and be fine, in my opinion, but I'm only running 2 of one of them. So the theme support as far as traps and spells currently isn't released, or people don't know about it yet, so we're just doing basic spell and trap lineup. So we'll just go over the monsters and the ones in the extra deck that are important, and then I'm going to show you videos of me playing with the deck for the first time tonight, which is when I was learning it, so you can see some of the plays that I picked up along the way and just some of the duels. You know, obviously I probably have a misplay or 2 in there. So let's go over the deck. First monster is Burning Knuckler Glassjaw. He's a level 4. He's a fire, and he's a warrior. Like all of these monsters, they're all fire warriors. So he's got 2,000 attack and 0 defense, so you know there's going to be some sort of drawback, because you don't get effect monsters with that without having some sort of small drawback. So when this card is targeted for an attack, destroy this card. Now, I'm not sure if you're familiar with boxing or MMA lingo, but someone with a glass jaw is someone that, as soon as you hit them on the jaw, they're going down. Someone with a strong jaw, for example, is someone that takes a lot of hits to go down. So a glass jaw means you get hit once, you're going down. So it's a perfect name for this card. When this card is targeted for an attack, destroy this card. But when this card is sent to the graveyard by a card effect, and that can include his own, you target 1 Burning Knuckler monster in your graveyard, except for himself, and add it to your hand. So he maintains your hand, so he's got a great attack, he can't stand on the field all day, and he can actually retrieve stuff from the graveyard. Now, it's only when he's sent to the graveyard by a card effect, so you can actually send it with Laval Chain, you know, Foolish Burial if I wanted to run it, and still get his effect off. So it's quite good, and there's actually another Burning Knuckler that sends them to the graveyard, so it combos well with that. Next monster, Burning Knuckler Switch Hitter, another level 4 Fire Warrior. This one's got 1500 attack and 1400 defense, and when he's normal summoned, you can target 1 Burning Knuckler monster in your graveyard and special summon that target. So I can just normal this guy and special this guy, and then go into like Blade Armor Ninja and own from there. That sounds really good, right? But there is a drawback. It says you cannot special summon monsters other than Burning Knucklers for the rest of the turn. So as soon as you play this and special summon this or any of the other level 4s, you have to go into a Burning Knuckler Exceed. So that's the drawback. And, you know, there are decks that, you know, they don't have that drawback, but those are broken. I mean, these things are powerful, but they're kept in check. I can't say that enough. It's awesome to see Konami taking these steps with the newer archetypes to, you know, not let them get out of control. Next card is Burning Knuckler Spar, and, you know, someone you spar with is going to be the guy that's holding the punching bag or holding those punching pad things that he's got in his arm there. He's only got 1200 attack and 1400 defense, but if you control a Burning Knuckler monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. But you cannot conduct your battle phase this turn, so opening with this card is optimal. Getting a Laval Chain playoff, which we'll go over in a moment, just kind of what a basic play is with Laval Chain. You also see it later in the videos. But he's really good. He's good, but he's not broken, and that's, I love it. So that's that guy. This next guy You could probably get away with running 2 if you wanted to. I'm running 3 just for my current testing. But he's Burning Knuckler headgear, and once per turn, while he's in attack mode, he cannot be destroyed by battle, so that's kind of cool. But his main effect is when he's normal summoned, you can send 1 Burning Knuckler monster from your deck to the graveyard. So essentially, you can normal summon this guy, send this guy to the graveyard, and then get any other Burning Knuckler out of your graveyard. So just again, all these cards kind of combo off each other really well. Now this next card is probably my favorite Burning Knuckler so far. I like his name, Burning Knuckler Counterblow. And what he does is during the damage step, when a Burning Knuckler monster you control battles, you can banish this card from your hand or graveyard, and that monster gains 1000 attack until the end phase. And you can only use the effect of Burning Knuckler Counterblow once per turn. So, unlike the likely things that you guys are thinking of on his Kalute, he only boosts by 1000, but he can be activated from the hand or the graveyard. But he also can't stack. You can't do 2 of them and attack over something. But you can run 3 of this guy if you really want to. Right now I'm testing with 2, and 2 seems okay because I can really, if I need to, I can dump it to the graveyard and just use it from there. So, good card. He actually, once you get your main XYZ guy out there and you have that in your hand or your graveyard, you're pretty much set. There's not a lot that the opponent can do. So I really like this card. Sadly, he's a level 3. Everything else is level 4. So, just keep an eye on the fact that he's level 3. Now, the rest of the deck pretty much is what do you want to run? There are some staples, of course, like Rhoda. This deck actually really benefits from Warrior Returning Alive. Only running 1, but you could probably get away with running 2, even 3. Probably not 3. But everything else is pretty much preference. Aside from those cards, obviously a couple Lances isn't bad. The MSTs, and then just staple everything else. Now these last 4 monsters are pure preference. Summoner Monk, because I think opening with a Laval Chain, you get this guy, you pitch a dead Warrior Returning Alive, special summon this guy, switch hitter, overlay into the Laval Chain, remove switch hitter for effect, send Glassjaw to the graveyard, Glassjaw's effect kicks in, and you get switch hitter back to your hand, and then next turn obviously you can get switch hitter and grab Glassjaw off the graveyard. So combos pretty well with Laval Chain. That's pretty much your best opening play that you can make. 1 Photon Thrasher because he's a warrior. You can special summon him out there, and get your plays off. He just kind of goes with the deck. You could probably run 2 of them if you really wanted to, but I hate having this card stuck in my hand. It's like my pet peeve. Like an alternative would be there's a Koike Mirrored card that you can attack twice with it, and you obviously have to show a warrior in your end phase. But you could probably attack one or 2 of those guys in. He's not bad. And this last guy is pure preference as well. I'm noticing he's actually a lot more dead than alive in the deck because you have so many ways to add cards from your graveyard. You're probably not going to have 5 in your graveyard unless it's like mid to late game. So this guy, if you get him early, he's obviously dead. Just like any card of that nature, though. So I'll read you his effect. He cannot be normal summoned or set. His name is Pyrorex, the Elemental Lord, by the way. He must be special summoned by having exactly 5 fire monsters in your graveyard, and cannot be special summoned by other ways. This card is special summoned. When this card is special summoned, you can target 1 monster your opponent controls, destroy it, and if you do, inflict damage to both players equal to half of its original attack. You can use the effect of Pyrorex Elemental Lord once per turn, and if it leaves the field, skip your next battle phase. Now that's important because that really sucks when that happens, because it happened to me tonight, and I was not happy. But essentially, you get your 5 fires in the graveyard, you special summon this guy out, you hit your opponent's BLS, we'll just say it's a BLS, and you both take 1500 points of damage, and then you attack for another 28. Pretty good play. Very, people obviously aren't planning for the card because it's new, and I think it's again, with the rest of the deck, it's on the right power level. It's not extremely broken. It has a good effect, but it also has a drawback. If you let this card leave the field, you're going to skip your next battle phase. So I like it. And then, like I said, everything else is just non-themed support. So let's get to the XYZs. We'll go over this guy first because he's my least favorite out of the 2. 3 level 4 monsters. He's number 105, Burning Knuckler. Meteoric Cestus doesn't have a bad effect, but the 3 level 4 is kind of a turn-off. So during either player's battle step, when a Burning Knuckler monster you control battles an opponent's monster, I get to detach one XYZ material from this card. I can negate the effects of the opponent's monster until the end of the turn, and also the monster cannot be destroyed by battle. And your opponent takes any battle damage you would have taken from the battle. So it saves the monster, your opponent takes the battle damage, and it shuts off an effect. Good card. 2,500 attack for 3 level 4s isn't too shabby either. I think Shockmaster is like 22 or 23. But actually, let's take a look. Shockmaster is 23. So he's not bad. He could come in handy at certain points, but the next guy is the reason you're on the deck. This guy, Burning Knuckler, Restrained Barbaric Soldier, Lead Blow, and hopefully that name gets changed because it is terrible. But he requires 2 level 4 Burning Knuckler monsters, and if a Burning Knuckler monster you control would be destroyed by battle or by a card effect, you can detach one XYZ material from this card instead. So it saves itself, it saves other Burning Knucklers that are face up on your field, and it's got 2,200 attack. It's not bad, but this next part is where it really stands apart from anything else that I think the game has seen yet. When an XYZ material is detached from this card, it gains 800 attack. So unlike Gachi, it actually goes the opposite way. So someone attacks into this guy, he's at 2,200, they don't know what his effect is, so they think they're attacking over him. Okay, so I save my monster by detaching, and he goes from 2,200 all the way up to 3k. So his greatest potential is 3,600. Excuse me, 3,800. Now think about that. 3,800 backed up by, say, a Burning Knuckler counterblow. We're talking about huge numbers on the field, potentially, with this card. It protects itself, you know, it can get hit by Deep Prison and bounced with card effects like Compulse, but as far as just standard destruction and attacking, this guy's going to be out there for a while, and he's going to be doing some heavy damage before he gets off the field. And he's the reason why I think the deck could possibly be some sort of meta. Now, again, like I said at the beginning of the video, a lot of these cards are so new that they're still debating that maybe some of the effects weren't translated right. So don't get super hype, and like, you know, when Light Pulsar first came out, it couldn't miss the timing. And when the effect first was translated, it couldn't miss the timing, so people were doing stupid OTK loops with Red Eyes Darkness Metal. I think it was like Toon Cannon Soldier and Light Pulsar, and they were just looping forever, and it was dumb. And then they changed, they actually got the right translation, and there it goes. But that's the main deck. So right now what I'm going to show you is some of my duels from tonight, so you can kind of see how the deck flows together. Obviously, first night playing a deck, I'm going to make some misplays, so bear with me on those. But that's the main deck, and stay tuned.